So let's go back to tiling with Y 0.5. Seemed a little too much for me, so let's try just 1, the default. This looks a bit better in my eyes. Alright, so we're going to start with like some big shapes here. So let's just say maybe I might just do something simple here. We can also draw on top of here. I'm just used to drawing the form like this, but we can go in here and be like, alright, let's just do maybe circles like this. The reason why it's fuzzy is because we don't really have a lot of detail on our mesh yet. And to do that, we'll just go back to here. It's 4 subdivisions, so I'm just going to subdivide again. And let's see what it looks like now. So now we have a little bit more detail. Let's continue subdivide. Level viewport. And now you can see it's just, we have slightly more detail this way too. 5, 6. And actually, I'll just keep this. This is just a demo purpose, but you can kind of see where to go from here. We can add stuff like this. We could go back here and maybe increase tiling. So maybe there's like a square here, and you can see like it's added that way. Maybe we'll have like a nice decorative element like this. And we can control the sharpness. So some hotkeys, Shift F is the strength. So you can see it's like super hard. F is the size of the brush. And you can go in and like add textures in here. You can create your own brushes. You can use any manner of brushes here. Again, this is just like a quick purpose on like Trimsheets here. So we add this. Maybe we'll add like something like here. Some like funny looking thing here. And this could be our very first kind of like looking trim sheet. I'm going to hold Control to like kind of like dig into certain areas like this. Maybe like that. This is really strong, but just to show you what it might look like. And let's just add that and add that. Now this is going to be really strong, so let's just do that. Okay. So once we have our first trim, we're going to repeat it onto the next one on the bottom. We can also add textures to overlay on top. I mentioned that. I do have brushes to do that, but I just want to keep everything vanilla. Just to not really confuse anyone who doesn't know the process of like importing brushes yet. You can look up the tons of other tutorials with that, but just using the vanilla tools, you can generally create quite a bit. So let's say if you want like a bevel edge here, you could have done that by beveling the mesh before you do this, but if you don't have that option, or just doing something like this, you can just like go in and kind of like try and like brush it on, make sure that it's not like super crazy, and just oh, maybe it's too small. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay. Kind of want to just, you can see what the mesh is doing here. So that's what it's gonna replicate. But it looks like, yeah, that's good enough for me. Let's add some like fun little elements here. Okay, so we have our first nice trim here. Wonderful. So we can go back to layout, select our next one, and we can also like just copy the modifier over. So let's see what that will do, hopefully. Yes, you can see what's happened is it hasn't subdivided simply yet. So I'm just going to bring this back down to 0, and then we're going to do simple first. Oh, what the? Oh, that's right, I have to delete higher. Give me a second here. There we go. So delete higher. Okay, so we can do simple to create our support loops, and then we can subdivide it. Subdivide. Okay. Now we can go back to sculpting, and let's do some other intricate patterns here. So again, we have tiling, mirroring. Maybe we want something to like reach to the center here. So let's just do that. Maybe there's something really cool that we want to draw the viewer's eye to. Like, look at this kind of cool little element here. And then put like a little thing here. And then just add, you know, really have fun with pattern making. I guess it's like my own personal opinion, but sometimes I find trim sheets can look a little too mechanical because of the systems like node-based systems. I'm sure really talented people can make it more organic through a number of like slope blurs and stuff like that. But there's something freeing about just painting it on like this. I think it adds like a very handcrafted look to it. And I know people in the past, or maybe they still might do it, is like just craft all the elements and then arrange it like this. So like they'll craft a brick wall and put it on, and I really like the stylistic look of it because it feels more like the touch of the artist. And it's a very simple solution to get you to understand the ideas of modular workflows. I'm only using the draw brush here, but we can go in and use a number of other brushes like the clay strips just to get some, you know, different looks in here. This is kind of neat. Let's try adding that, and maybe like this. I could just continue just doing this, but hopefully you're starting to understand like the process of this. So we have our nice trim sheet here. I kind of want to add again like just changes with the top end, just to signal like something's different. I wish I could like do the top here, but that means there's room to improve this technique. I'm just gonna do this quickly. Like that. Like that. There we go. Okay, so we have our secondary kind of like trim here. Maybe add this. Cool. Next thing now is we'll just go to the bottom and just again repeat the process. I won't try to get too carried away. So let's go back to modeling and let's add multi-resolution. We want to do simple to add the support loops, and then we'll just subdivide it maybe 6 times, well up to 6, number 6, go to sculpting and repeat the process. I was really liking the look of this clay strips, so let's continue with that, and we're going to switch this from mirror, switch this to tiling again. Maybe make some bricks this way here, so let's do some large bricks, maybe like this. Like that, and then we want to offset it a little bit, like this, and then offset it a little bit again, and then maybe have this as like that. There we go. And then we can go in here and maybe use a scrape to try and like flatten some of these edges here, just to make it look kind of, whoops, interesting, like that. And I know some of these seams might be a little too visible from looking far away, like elements like this, when you zoom far you can see like it's repeating quite a bit, so that's when you can like take off this tiling and then go in with some of these tools and try and like break those shapes up. Kind of like that. Stuff like this will be shown far away unless you have like a lot of that kind of detail to hide it. Okay, so we add a little bit of that. Now, if we hold control, we can do the inverse and like make things pop out, so it's almost like I'm always like kind of looking for like fun like little areas of adding imperfection. So we can add like this. Actually, don't do that. Hold shift to smooth that out. And yeah. Let's actually, I kind of want to add some, like, again, I'm always looking for like fun things to add in here. So maybe like little dots of noise like that. Just to little pits here, little dots here. It just kind of like, it's that like extra 10% detail that really makes something sing. Even though it's a test, I was trying to make it visually appealing in some way. So we add a little bit of that. I'm holding control to invert it inwards. And let's do this here. Okay. I feel like I'm just like putting glue like that. All right. And I try to break these things down so that they're very simple. So if you're a more intermediate or advanced artist, this might seem relatively familiar. But hopefully you might learn something from this. Okay, so we have our like nice little wall here. I'll change this up a bit actually. Yeah, let's just... There we go. Alright, and then now finally our higher frequency detail. Go here, click on this, add modifier, multi-res. What's that? That's right. Let's add a support edge, subdivide, sculpting, and this one, I haven't really thought about what to add here. We want like some large detail. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. Oh, that's kind of neat. Yeah, let's do that. That's kind of neat. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is maybe like that, like that. There we go. Maybe you want to sculpt like a little face here or something. Little skull. Like that. Oh. Then we can go in here and add like, again, just decorative elements. And then this one. No, we're gonna add something a bit. Kind of like that. Yeah, let's do that. And then add like a trim here. And then maybe add a trim here on the bottom. And let's get rid of the tiling and just kind of make it a bit more, what's the word, unique in this area here. Basically we don't need to worry too much about this end and this end here. We can add some fun elements here. So I'm just gonna alright, that's good. So we have our funny little trim sheet here. Oh man, I kind of want to add, hang on, clay strips. 1 second. Let's go back to tiling. There we go. Okay, I just wanted some, extra detail like that. Okay, so we have our trim sheet here. All we have to do now is just render it and import it back into Blender.